Right now at 5, charges filed against an Indiana mother whose son threatened to shoot up a middle school but ended up turning the gun on himself. The reason the prosecutor wants to hold her responsible.
Ripping up tracks to lay down a trail. It's a project that has divided townspeople in one Hamilton County community, but it is moving forward anyway. Now word comes of a renewed effort to stop the progress.
What a way to start the work week. All sunshine now, but we'll focus on an increasing chance of rain for tomorrow.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. It's a sad day for some and a sign of progress for others. Work is finally underway to remove the old tracks of the Nickel Plate Railroad in Noblesville to pave the way for a new and controversial nickel plate trail.
RTV6's Kelsey Anderson is working for you to explain those opposed to the trail still are not giving up.
Well, crews already dug up this section of the track, and today they began digging up the section that goes in through 8th Street. So if you're traveling through Noblesville, you could experience some delays. All roads surrounding the construction will open each night when they are done working. They expect work to wrap up here by October 25th. The idea for the trail isn't coming without controversy, though. A group called Save the Nickel Plate has been rallying for both Noblesville and Fishers to keep the tracks and build a trail next to them. Now, even though they are in the process of tearing up the tracks in Noblesville, Logan Day, a spokesperson for Save the Nickel Plate, still has hope.
You have to say something if you want your opinion to be heard. So please don't think that this is a done deal. We still can plan for our future, and now's the time to do that. So they've taken a lot of steps, but we can still stake our claim and tell them what we want.
Whether you are for or against the new nickel plate trail, you can send your opinion to opinion@indianatrails.com. That email will go to regional leaders and elected officials. Working for you in Noblesville, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. And the end goal of the project is a trail that connects downtown Noblesville to the Indiana State Fairgrounds. But this first stretch of the work is to build a trail from Noblesville to Fishers.
New at 5, the mother of a teen who killed himself inside a Richmond school in December is now facing multiple felony charges in connection with that incident. 43-year-old Mary York is charged with 6 felonies, including dangerous control of a child and 5 counts of neglect of a dependent, as well as a misdemeanor charge of criminal recklessness. York called police on December 13th to warn them that her 14-year-old son intended shooting up Dennis Intermediate School. Police and the teen exchanged gunfire, and then he turned the gun on himself.
Today, state police announced details about the visitation and funeral for a state trooper killed in a traffic accident. Visitation for 27-year-old trooper Peter Stephen will be Thursday at Crossroads Community Church in Kokomo from 2 until 8 p.m. The funeral will be Friday at 11 a.m. also at that church. Trooper Stephen was driving an old State Road 25 Friday night when his patrol vehicle left the side of the road, rolled at least once, and hit a pole. State police say he was responding to help another trooper when he crashed. He leaves behind his wife and 6-month-old daughter.
New at 5, the city of Indianapolis is making a move to tackle the gun violence problem plaguing the area. City leaders are now saying they are working with local clergy and churches to organize an event geared toward getting guns off the streets and creating safer communities. RTV6's Megan Santorum explains the ways you can get involved and how this effort could put some cash in your pocket.
A planned gun buyback program is getting a lot of traction here in Indianapolis. Law enforcement agencies and anti-violence groups are working together to make it happen. Last year, the city hosted a buyback event at the MLK Center, getting 181 guns off the streets. This year, they're hoping to surpass that number and get even more community groups and faith-based organizations involved.
That's what we have to do. We've been working together for years in the community together, but this is a more focused area for the east side.
People with unused or unwanted guns are encouraged to bring them to the event. All you need is an ID, and you can get cash for each gun you turn in. IMPD leaders say there are guns out there that people want to get rid of, but they don't know how. They say events like this will also help ensure those guns don't end up in the wrong hands.
We have an epidemic in our city with the gun violence, and so this is another one of the platforms that we use to try to combat that, and we do it with the partnership of the community to bring people out to kind of give them more than just a place to drop off their guns.
They will also be handing out safety locks for anyone who wants one and providing other resources on gun safety. City leaders say they've had a large response from organizations and faith-based groups that want to get involved, and they're working on scheduling a date soon. Coming up tonight at 6, you'll hear from a domestic violence victim and why she thinks this is the first step toward creating a safer city. Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Thanks, Megan. And Speedway police are looking for a man police believe stabbed his mother to death. They are trying to find 39-year-old Vincent Edge. 58-year-old Vicky Edge was found dead just before 9:30 last night in the 5400 block of White House Horse Road. That's northwest of the intersection of Lyndhurst and Crawfordsville Road. If you know where Edge is, call Speedway Police or Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And investigators are looking into the cause of a morning fire that destroyed multiple boats at a business in Cicero. This video of the fire at Portside Marine is from the RTV6 drone. The fire broke out around 9:30. More than 60 firefighters from multiple agencies in 4 counties responded. Portside Marine was housing multiple new and used boats inside the building when the fire started. All of those boats were destroyed.
Time now for your Storm Team 6 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory in the Tracking Center. And we started out with a very cool morning this morning.
Temperatures in the 30s again. So we had frost Saturday morning and some folks with frost this morning. Let me just show you the coolest temperatures in both Lafayette and Peru. 34 degrees. Throw Terre Haute in the basket as well, with temperatures just above the freezing mark, 38 in Indy. How did we recover? Certainly all that sunshine helps, doesn't it? But still quite a cool day in the 50s right now. Lafayette to Peru. Indy sits at 63 degrees. Tonight, frost unlikely. The only real chance would be in the northeast portion of the viewing area. A beautiful view downtown tonight. There's the canal. A great evening for a walk. Temperatures, they'll fall off quickly, but not as significantly overnight. 50 degrees with clear skies at 10 o'clock tonight. The wind will be light on the morning drive, 40 degrees or so. First thing in the morning, a dry drive to work. Coming home, slight chance we'll have some showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and temperatures will be around 70 degrees. More on the timing of the rain and what it leads to for Wednesday coming up.
More than 200 people have already benefited from the new marijuana prosecution policy at the Marion County Prosecutor's Office. More than 225 cases of simple marijuana possession have been dismissed since the prosecutor announced the new policy 2 weeks ago today. That's when Prosecutor Ryan Mears said possession by adults of less than 1 ounce of marijuana would be no longer prosecuted. As of Friday, 228 pending cases were dismissed. The office is also working to address expungements and driver's license suspension issues.
In just a few hours, the Indianapolis City County Council will vote on the 2020 budget. The $1.2 billion budget will fund the city's police and fire departments, road improvements, and countless other city projects. The mayor's office has touted the last few budgets as being honestly balanced, but some Republicans on the council have been concerned with additional requests for money. They want those requests to come with the budget, not as a surprise during the year.
We want this to be honest. You know, we can say we got an honestly balanced budget. We just want an honestly balanced budget. And so we want the budget that we pass tonight to be the one that we live with from January 1st.
The City County Council meeting begins at 7 p.m. We will bring you the latest as it happens tonight. The Colts are getting back to work after several always needed days off for the bye week.
And they've got an important stretch of games coming up, but the team is getting some key players back in the mix. Brad Brown joins us now with all of that. Brad.
Mark and Amanda, good afternoon. The bye week on the NFL schedule is often all about timing. The Colts are coming off that huge win against the Chiefs. They'll hope the momentum from that game doesn't dwindle after they've had an extra week to savor it. The team didn't waste any time getting back to it. Their first full Monday session of the regular season. Nothing too different otherwise. There's simply just a little shuffle in this week's practice agenda. The headline on the field today, Darius Leonard getting back to practice. He's been cleared from concussion protocol after missing the last 3 games. Same for Clayton Gathers. He missed the Chiefs contest as well. Darius talked about gaining some perspective from having to watch from the sidelines for nearly a month.
It was definitely tough, being away from the team, not being able to go out there and help your brothers out. So it definitely was rough, especially when you couldn't even be on the sideline. So it definitely was definitely a tough time for me. No matter what, who's down, this team is going to fight throughout anything, and it shows all 3 games that they played in, especially that last one against Kansas City. So we always talk about next man up, and they proved it week in and week out.
After the bye week, Amanda mentioned an important stretch. Here it is. The Colts play 4 of the next 5 at home, and the schedule really plays into their favor. The Texans are the only one of these opponents that currently has a winning record. But it's always a tough trip to Pittsburgh right in the middle of that. But definitely 5 very winnable games as they head through this middle part of the season. One other note from Monday, the team putting defender Kamoko Toure on injured reserve, suffered a nasty ankle injury in Kansas City. That's a tough break for a guy who was having a very good season, just his 2nd year with the Colts. They added defensive tackle Carl Lewis to fill that roster spot. It's his 5th season in the league. He played 2 years each in Baltimore and Cleveland. Now, the Texans also handed the Chiefs a loss yesterday. A great showing by Deshaun Watson and the Houston's offense. Sunday's game here will essentially be for the division lead. We'll hear the first thoughts about that matchup coming up tonight on the news at 11. See you then.
All right, Brad, thank you for that. Ahead on the Now Indy at 5:30. You didn't get mail today, and some people had the day off. It's officially Columbus Day, but there's a movement that says it should be called something else.
But first, President Trump is asking for votes, but not for himself. The message he put on Twitter today.
And big temperature swings are on the way. Temperatures tomorrow above average, and then look what happens, much cooler in the middle of the week. We'll talk about thunderstorms making the transition.
DirecTV bundle.
Breaking news, Metro Police are investigating a shooting on the southwest side. Here is a live picture from the scene on Man Road south of Kentucky Avenue. We know 1 person is dead. We will bring you updates as we learn new information on this. And now to the impeachment investigation of President Trump. Today, a former top National Security Council expert on Russia testified to members of Congress behind closed doors. On Thursday, the president's current ambassador to the EU, who participated in critical text messages exchanges about Ukraine, is expected to do the same. ABC's Serena Marshall is in Washington with more.
Another witness arriving on Capitol Hill this morning. Fiona Hill, the former top national security advisor on Russia, left the administration just before President Trump's July phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Lawmakers want to know what she knew about the White House's policy in Ukraine and the president's desire to have them investigate Joe Biden and his son. Hill's deposition, like Marie Yovanovitch, the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, and former special envoy Kurt Volkers, will be held behind closed doors with 3 House committees investigating possible impeachment of the president. Republicans again arguing the process is unfair, as one representative who doesn't sit on any of the 3 committees tried to interrupt the proceedings.
Congress, you're not a member of these committees, so why did you think you could participate?
Well, because there are no rules. So in the absence of any rules that House Democrats have adopted, I found it only reasonable to look at prior precedent on impeachment.
But for the most part, ignoring the substance of whether it's appropriate for the president to ask a foreign government to investigate a political rival. The president maintaining
there was no quid pro quo. There was no quid pro quo.
There was never a quid pro quo, even pointing to the text messages sent by the current ambassador to the EU, Gordon Sondland, who replied to veteran diplomat William Taylor's text, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign," by saying the president has been crystal clear, no quid pro quos of any kind. But Gordon Sondland is also expected to sit down behind closed doors with lawmakers later this week under subpoena. And the Washington Post is reporting he's expected to tell lawmakers that those text messages weren't his words, but the president's, and that he'll add he has no independent knowledge if that was really true. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Now to Democracy 2020 and the race for Indiana governor. Democratic candidate Josh Owens recently released his education platform. He wants to pay teachers a minimum of $50,000 a year, make the bonuses tied to school performance a permanent salary rise, and create a tax credit to parents paying for textbooks. To pay for all of that, he wants to use the state's $2 billion surplus to create a public education endowment.
We have over $2 billion worth of our tax dollars that are sitting there in reserve. If we don't invest in the future of Indiana, that's what causes recession. That's what causes a hard time for our state. It's only when we're actively investing in our future that we can avoid those.
Owens is one of 3 Democrats running for the nomination in 2020.
Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative works to connect you to all kinds of job opportunities, and a couple of big retailers are hiring this week. JCPenney is hosting a national hiring day tomorrow to fill seasonal positions. There are about 200 jobs that need to be filled in the Indianapolis area. You can go to any JCPenney location tomorrow from 2 until 8 p.m. to apply. Management will be conducting interviews and making offers to qualified candidates on the spot. And Dick's Sporting Goods plans to hire around 145 seasonal employees in Indianapolis as part of National Signing Day on Wednesday. Visit a store on that day to be interviewed and meet the team. There are 8 locations in the Indianapolis area.
We had some picture-perfect days, a couple of them for the weekend. Monday was looking good, too.
So if I looked at your phone, maybe I'd see a picture of the full moon we had over the weekend.
Right, yeah.
Or a frosty morning, or who knows. Let's play Name This Location. Where do you think that is?
Let's see.
Oh, the
fairgrounds.
I gave you an easy one.
You really did.
It says it right there. All right, it's more of a vision test than anything else. We'll begin to see some color, and you do see bursts in there, and you've noticed it around your house as well. I think we've really turned on kind of the energy to get some colors in the leaves from the morning lows to afternoon highs really stretching out. Okay, temperature tomorrow, low 70s, low 50s on Wednesday. From there, a sustained, noticeable warming trend into the weekend. That will get our temperatures back into the low 70s. We've been kind of figuratively knocked off our feet a couple of times with these cooler temperatures, but we get right back up and start the climb, and that will happen this week as well. Rain chances tomorrow, more significant as we get into the evening and tomorrow night, including some thunderstorms. Not expecting severe weather at this point. Any rain is welcome rain. As you know, it's been a very dry fall. Tomorrow, 72 degrees. We drop off significantly as we get into the middle of the week. We start to bounce back, but still quite cool and dry on Thursday. Temperature 63 in Indy, almost 70 degrees down to the south. The wind tomorrow will be strong, south at 15, gusting to 25. That will help bring the warmer air in and push those temperatures above 70. Okay, Mark and Amanda, a couple things going on here. Here's what I know for sure in the picture. Barkley is on the left. I don't think the other dog is real. No, seriously, I think it might be.
That's a witch dog.
I think it might be a ceramic dog.
Oh, you might be right. I think you're right.
No, I'm being serious about that.
It's pretty realistic, though.
And
Could have fooled me.
Neither seem interested in the fire hydrant.
No, not at all.
At this moment. What a great night for a walk. Temperatures down into the 40s, but by the time we get to 11 o'clock, clear sky 41 tomorrow. Frost certainly unlikely as we plan out your day tomorrow. Sunshine at the beginning. Clouds increase through the day into the evening hours. That slight chance of thunderstorms first north and west, and then for all of central Indiana tomorrow evening. If the clouds roll in fast enough, you'll fall short of 70 north and west, say Monticello on up to Peru. Should be low 70s elsewhere with that strong south wind and clouds increasing later in the day. Wednesday, boy, the door is wide open to much colder air. Temperatures only in the lower 50s in the middle of the week. Thursday, dry, 59. As we get to the weekend, especially second half of the weekend, chance for thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. A powerful storm system in the central U.S. will influence our weather. Still too early to talk about whether we'd see severe storms there, but you do have a kind of a minor uptick in the fall of stronger storms, so we'll keep our eye on that.
All right. Thanks, Kevin, for that.
Well, tonight is Disney night on ABC's Dancing with the Stars.
Wonder if President Trump will be watching? Well, we asked that because Mr. Trump is asking for your votes for former White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. Trump took to Twitter today to make his plea, calling Spicer a good guy and says he's always been there for us. Spicer and his partner Lindsey Arnold consistently get some of the lowest scores for them judges, but so far haven't faced the possibility of elimination. You can see what happens tonight at 8 o'clock right here on RTV6.
And Disney night is always one of my favorites for Dancing with the Stars, so definitely a fun one tonight. And we just can't let it go. Still ahead, another early look at scenes from Frozen 2.
1,000-mile warranty and Honda of Fishers. Hello and a very good day to you. I'm Julie Grant with Court TV Live, and we're bringing you live coverage of a death penalty case happening right now in Fort Myers, Florida. The state is in day number 3 of its case in chief. Defendant Jimmy Ray Rogers could face the death penalty for allegedly being the hired hitman who killed a beloved holistic doctor named Teresa Severs. The state says that Rogers attacked Severs in her own home, bludgeoning her to death with a hammer. To make matters worse, the person accused of hiring Rogers is none other than the victim's husband. And out of the state of Wisconsin, jury selection is underway right now in a murder trial. A gender-confused woman named Ezra McCandless is accused of stabbing one of her lovers to death. She says it was in self-defense. The state says it was murder. Alex Woodworth was only 24 years old at the time of his death, and we'll be bringing you live updates from inside of the courtroom throughout the day today here on Court TV Live. And as always, you can count on Court TV for gavel-to-gavel coverage. I'm Julie Grant. Now back to you in the studio.
Julie, thank you. You can learn more about other cases around the nation right now at courttv.com.
The anticipation is building for next month's release of Frozen 2, and today we get another sneak peek from Disney and what's to come in the next adventure with Anna, Elsa, and Olaf and friends.
Has Elsa seemed weird to you?
She seems like Elsa.
There's this voice. Voice? What does that mean? Head for the cliff!
Who's shaking the building?
The kingdom is not safe.
Well, Disney is definitely building the suspense here. This is the third trailer to be released ahead of next month's sequel to the widely popular Frozen. Frozen 2 will be released November 22nd.
Coming up all new at 6 o'clock here on RTV6, the bus aide seen in this video slapping a child with disabilities learns her punishment. We'll show you what happened in court.
But first, on the Now Indy, kids may be on fall break, but they still need to eat, where the food is free and nutritious. You're watching RTV6.